Yeah, happy January 3rd, 2025. My name is Dani Henderson, and this is my disclosure channel. Today, I'm going to take you through some of the paranormal events of the last few years. I'm going to take you into my book trailer video, which is called Angels, Demons, and Aliens, my personal physical experiences with these beings. I'm going to tell you about the GISIC, the Galactic Spiritual Informers Conference, the greatest disclosure conference in the world. We have actual UFOs. Identified spacecraft coming over our events. Disclosure has never been more rampant. We're not only seeing more disclosure, having people come forward with their true testimonies, people in government, people in senior military positions, people at NASA, people that have been hiding all these years, but also you guys out there too. Please remember, if you love humanity, then your first concern is not for your wealth, your fame, or your ego, as we are seeing some people that were supposed to be doing the good work now kind of falling to the side and falling into their own pop star legend in their own minds. That's all right. We send them love. Going to tell you about a little 2 day British church tour that I'll be doing right before our next conference. For those of you who are interested, I'll be taking you on that 2 day walking church tour to this church where my mum, my dad, my brothers, and I actually were confronted by reptilian humanoids. I'm going to show you a little video on that I took inside the church the other day with my parents and my brother, because over Christmas we went there. Amazing to have those memories and physical proof after 40 odd years of the people in your family who've stopped not remembering. You know how some family members they go, no, 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 that never happened. You're like, but it did, you were there. And then they choose selective memory. And then at this time when a lot of the satanic cult spelling, the black magic that's always been here, rampant through all religions as well, sadly. But that's all right. Those of us that follow our hearts with love, we know that there's a route through and we're bringing it. But anyway, there's so much more light on the planet now and it's so beautiful. And people are waking up, they're having their breakthroughs, they're just in the midst of awakening. And then those that believe in their own legends in their own minds, they're having the hardest time because they haven't broken their own gold ceiling yet and just realize that they're doing this for the love of humanity and not for the love of just themselves. I'm going to tell you the story of the alien that followed me home from Egypt. And a little bit on shape shifting because a lot of you have had so many experiences, and I just want to validate you all so much because in my book, Angels, Demons, and Aliens, which I'm going to come to in a minute, it's my true accounts of my physical experiences. And I know that in some of those events that happened with me as a child to a now adult, you'll see yourself, and that could be also part of your healing too. All right, so let's start with the other day, what I did for you. After our last Galactic Spiritual Informers disclosure conference that was in Denver, near Denver, Colorado, a place called Westminster. The one and only Alex Collier came out of retirement. Can you imagine? He is the greatest Andromedan contactee, in my opinion. He is one the government said, shut up or we'll put you in prison in the 90s. He was the one that the mafia said, shut up or we'll kill you and your family in the 1990s. Alex Collier never went away. He took a 6 year break because he just had a little tiny newborn baby. He tells this story very often. Look up his website, please, alexcollier.org. He's still working. He's still doing webinars. You can listen to his information every Friday at alexcollier.org. But for now, let's get into a little bit of this and a little bit of that for you. Okay. Now, what I want to show you is this. Here he is. Here is the great man, Alex Collier, on stage.
Arc area inside. It's approximately in our mathematics, it's approximately 20 miles wide, and they have their housing all around the park. In the park are animals. Nothing. They have things that would be similar to squirrels, but I can't tell you the colors because we don't have.
What he's doing there, he's on the great stage and he's showing, if you look over here where my cursor is it my right is here, see ya? This is an Andromedan spaceship. This is what they look like. They are spherical and they don't land on the ground. They hover. They're made off planet. So when you are going through your own galactic experiences, if you're not sure if it's a fantasy, if you read it in a book, you saw it on a soft disclosure space documentary or film or series. Alex Collier, this man here, is the guy to go to. So I put this out for free for you on my beautiful channel. On my beautiful channel, everyone. So please, here it is. You're on my channel, but it's Dani Henderson Gsic. Dani Henderson Gsic. Okay, now let's go to my lovely book trailer. Hold on a second. This is Angels, Demons, and Aliens. This was created by Steph Zach. I'm going to show you the image. There we are. That is my book, Angels, Demons, and Aliens, which you can get on Amazon. Now, let's move to this is where I went last week with my parents and my brother and other family members into a church when we were 6, 7, and 8, me and my brothers. I'm pretty sure it was that age range. My dad says 10 in the video, 9 or 10, but we're pretty sure it was 6, 7, and 8, where we were followed by the two ugliest reptilians, which I'll come to the story in a minute. But here it is, a little bit on the church for you. So at the actual church where, as a little girl, parents and brothers were literally followed into this church by two extraordinary looking, hideous reptilians that were pretending to be humans. They were so incredibly ugly. They looked like two ugly versions of Bill Gates, to the nearest. And do you remember when we got where we got chased? Remember when they came in, Dad? Yeah. Which door? That door over there. They followed us in here, didn't they? Yeah. Yeah. We'll go to the grave site in a minute. Where that was on the downs. So it was really strange because my dad freaked out with my mum and chased us, the three, me and the two boys, my brothers, in this church to try and get us to safety. And there was a lady who was polishing one of the pews. I tell this story in my book, Angels, Demons, and Aliens, but it's amazing when you have a whole family. And we're back here like 40 years later. Hey, Dad, how long do you reckon that was? 40 odd years ago? About 40 years ago? Yeah. Yeah. At least 40 years. Yeah. More. Yeah. Like you were only two. You were only 9 or 10. Yeah. I think I was more like 6, but it's hard to remember. I might have just lied about my age there. It could have actually been longer than that. But here's a lovely organ. I do like to put the organs in. Amazing how those doors always seem tinier than the other doors. So yeah, so this is the church, Warburton. What was it? Okay, so that gives you an idea, and this is where we're coming to now. For the greatest people on the planet this year, who are going to bring identified spacecraft, who are going to tell you stories you've never heard before, who are going to recap their childhoods to this present moment with their interactions with actual physical aliens, extraterrestrials, people that tell you the truth of all the lies that have been told on our planet. This is the conference, Galactic Spiritual Informers, or GISIC. When you see this sign, oh, I love how the little mousey does all those pretty stars there. Are you ready for the truth? We reveal the reality of your planet and solar system. At our last conference, look what we saw. Look at this. Look at this. Now, do you see the lights, people? I'm sure you sensible, normal thinking people, you can see the lights in the high sky as the craft are changing form. Okay? Clearly, metallic structures. Look, flashing lights diving down. Right there. Right there. Let's have another look.
Oh my God.
So, there you go. So the next one we're having is in the UK, England, the Devonshire Park Theatre, really old-fashioned theatre, May 10th and 11th. We're bringing the spacecraft over Eastbourne Beach on May 10th. That'll be a massive event outside at the beach. And this year, JP is turning up. Turning it up. He's bringing the craft in. We're giving Elena Danan a year off. Now, someone said they went to the tickets, which are here. Here's information. Here's a beautiful video on last year's event, the 3 days that changed the world. Just keep clicking across, and then you will see where to get your tickets. Yeah. We use a company called Humantix, Tickets for Good, Not Greed, because the other one thing we were using, oh my goodness, they charged you guys so much after you bought your ticket. It was just so naughty. Right, click on Get Tickets. Get tickets. Okay, so you can see now the tickets are $3.99. So to the person that rang or messaged and said, you took all my information before I could find out. Oi, Billy, stop telling fibbers. It's right there. General admission $3.99 gold and ticket package, which includes other goodies and a beautiful luncheon $5.99. That's it for the greatest speakers on the planet. Let's go back here and meet the speakers, Elena Danan. Now, Elena Danan is upsetting the entire world of disclosure. She's certainly upsetting the men in particular who wanted to be Captain America. Oh, sorry, boys, that's a fantasy. Did you not know that? Anyway, Elena Danan is bringing information that NASA quakes in its boots when it hears. There's Dr. Michael Sala. You've seen him all over television for many, many years, a trusted scholar. There's JP. JP's been on the moon. He's been to Jupiter. He's been to the moon of Ganymede. He has been everywhere. He's got proof. He's got receipts. And if you've been following him and Dr. Sala, you will know this. If you haven't, welcome to this amazing information. Couple more things to go over. Tony Rodriguez, kidnapped by the American military and sold into a child torture program for MK Ultra, for science of consciousness experiments with these hideous, awful people experimented on children. His story is very, very hard to listen to, but he has come on, he's survived, and he's bringing some of the technology off planet back onto this planet. Here is Praveen Mohan. He's probably the most famous person in India right now, apart from Gandhi. I mean, he's such a massive presence in revealing ancient technology hidden in the Hindu temples. There's me. I'll be talking about Tesla technology and other things. I'll leave that as a surprise for you. Hugh Newman, megalithic expert. His business is called Megalithomania. He's been on many, many different television shows. He has written on Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe. These are the Turkish temples that are currently very, very much trying to be covered up, cemented over, grown olive trees over. Because a few knobheads that have tried to get hold of those lands, they have no right to get hold of them, but they've tried to own them as their own and stop people finding out. Here's JJ Ainsworth. She's lovely. She's going to be sharing some of her work on sigils and ancient symbols. And here is our darling Nikki Allen. Nikki Allen, the great British psychic medium, the expert on angels, connecting to inner healing, to the angelic realm, a former police detective. Oh my gosh, this lady is amazing. The lineup, you guys, is just incredible. It's so incredible. I couldn't be prouder. And I'm so happy to call these people my friends too. And just a little thing about Nikki Allen. She got badly injured years ago. She was at a Robbie Williams concert as a cop, as a police person. And the crowd was insane. And then Robbie Williams dropped his trousers and showed his bottom. And at that moment, the crowd went insane and surged forward, like a mosh pit situation, except it was the whole theatre. And Nikki saw a girl go down. And she knew, and watch out for the little sprites and orbs that jump around me too. I just saw one over there. Anyway, Nikki realized as a police person, if she didn't get that girl off the ground, she's probably going to lose her life and be trampled to death. Such was the surge of the crowd. And it's all done on impulse. People don't mean to be madly trampling other people. So Nikki Allen grabbed down, and there was no signal. She couldn't get back up. There wasn't time. She grabbed the girl off the ground, and Nikki ripped her own spine away from her rib cage in the grab in that. So she's had severe injuries. I mean, that lady has gone through what you can't even imagine. But anyway, she recently lost her husband, Darren. Terrible, absolutely tragic. And yet she's out there giving love, giving grace, and she'll be on that great stage. The beautiful, bubbly light that is Nikki Allen. I'm so proud of her. So proud of you, Nikki Allen. So happy that she's coming back again this year to another Gsic. Don't forget to get your tickets soon. They've just gone up a bit, and it's going to be the most beautiful theatre, a 150-year-old theatre. So it's old-fashioned seats. So if you are larger in the beam, just be aware of that. There are a few seats extra for larger people, but when the theatre was built, 150 years ago, we didn't have the obesity problem that we have globally because of the way the food is manipulated and the terrible things they put in that blow our bodies up. So, and again, obviously, it's not about fat shaming, but it's about having real conversations, letting you know so that the seats are the normal size. I wouldn't want to turn up and not be able to fit into a seat. So I'm being thoughtful there, not unkind. And I know those of you with hearts like mine, you'll see that. Okay. I want to tell you about if you are interested, I'm only taking 20 of you. If 20 of you want to come on a church tour with me on the 7th and the 8th of May, one of the days we'll be walking to Summer because a lot of the churches are on foot in Eastbourne, the town itself. I'll be doing a walking tour. One of the churches is 15 minutes, about 15 minutes walk out of town, but such a beautiful walk, and it's an amazing church. And I saw a spook in there, so I can tell you about that. And then the next day we'll get on a beautiful coach, and we'll go out to the church where I and my family saw the reptilians, which I just shared with you there in that little video. We'll go there and we'll go to other churches too. There's also a crystal store where I get my beautiful crystal. It's really special in a tiny village. The villages in England are absolutely stunning. Oh my goodness, they're just so beautiful. If you love the countryside, if you love the forest and the woods, and it's just so special. So 7th and 8th of May only. And you obviously there will be a fee for me and the driver, but I'm happy to do that for you because a lot of you've asked for my British church tour, so we can do that on the 7th and 8th, and then the conference is the 10th and the 11th, and the 10th is the night where the craft are coming over. Now, let me tell you about the reptilians. So here's very quickly what happened. So it was, the year, it would have been in the 70s because that's when I was growing up. And I believe I was 6 or 7. My younger brother would have been 5, and my older brother would have been, so 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, like around that time. So my parents, every Sunday for years, used to go for a run in the car, which means that the kids sit in the back seat, no seat belts, and the mum and the dad sit in the front, and it's the most boring thing ever, driving around the countryside, maybe stopping at a pub for a packet of crisps, a tomato juice, as my mum used to drink. And anyway, my dad used to try and make it interesting. So this one time they drove out to this church. Now, on the way out to this church, and those of you that come on the trip with me, I'll show you a field where my mum starts freaking out and saying, "Oh my God, the moon's out really early. Do you see that light?" So me and my brothers are like scrambling, trying to look out the back window, what's she talking about? And then she screamed as a bloody triangular craft went over our car. So what she saw And it wasn't a military craft. This was an actual extraterrestrial triangular craft. And it had three lights in the corners. Now, it was different to the one that we filmed on the 27th of September, 2024 at my conference. The triangular craft that we saw, me and 1,000 people that saw the lights in the sky, the many spacecraft, but there was a military craft that had green lights in each corner. That's military. That's reverse engineered. That's anti-gravity reverse engineered military craft. The military got the information to build that craft from who? From ETs, of course. As you know, the Dwight Eisenhower administration have been working with extraterrestrials for many years. Go even further back, go to World War One, you go to World War Two, go to Nazi, the Hitlers, go to the Hitler, the Nazis, and go to the reptilians, the Sakaar reptilians that were doing deals with Hitler and the Nazis. It's all there, it's all written, there's proof. It's not now redacted, it's now available after the 50-year secrecy laws. There's much to see. You just look it up online. I'm not going to provide every single link for you. You know, we've all had to go on a journey. And part of it is not having everything handed to you, but inspiring you to do your own research. Wikipedia is infiltrated. They change things, they lie about people on there. Anyone can actually go on Wikipedia and change the fonts, change the text, just so you know. So anyway, the craft flew over. This was a different time, same area. My mum freaked out because she realized there's a bloody UFO going over the top of the car, triangular, like she called it a delta wing, like it was black with these bright lights as bright as the moon. And we all saw it. And that was another time. Anyway, so this time we're going along the same road on another boring run in the car on a Sunday afternoon. And we pull into the church, and all I can remember is this. There was mum, little brother, me, older brother, dad, and we're standing in front of of a graveyard. And I remember it like my dad was showing us the grave of a sea captain because he'd always try and make it interesting on a boring run in the car, and he would try and find something to keep his children entertained. He was really good like that, my dad. Um, and all I can remember is starting to feel odd, sick, and I had a lot of issues as a child, a lot of anyway. And so I thought I was going into whatever, you know, seizure or series of feelings in the body that were quite crippling. Sometimes my dad would have to pick me up because like, my legs wouldn't work, they wouldn't walk. Anyway, so we were standing there, and then I realized my mum and dad are starting to come apart, like they're starting to come unhinged. And you don't expect your parents to be scared, especially of adults. So I started feeling like I was being paralyzed. And I remember my mum and my dad grabbing the boys, my brothers, and I looked round and there were two beings standing behind us. Now, they were no more than 6 feet away from us. And they were both looking through binoculars. And when one went like that, the other one moved at the same time as his brother. They were hideously ugly. My older brother, when I just showed you that video in the church, he called them eggheads. He remembered them having very high heads. They were hideously ugly looking men. Both looked like twins, identical twins. They looked like Bill Gates, but even uglier versions, more reptilian than him. And they were wearing shirts, and they had what we call tank tops. So they had sweaters, jumpers, sweaters with sleeveless sweaters over a shirt and a tie, like how the old-fashioned men used to dress. And I remember my parents just grabbing us, and as soon as they grabbed us and we started to move away from these two weird men, my body went back to normal, like I could move fine. And my dad was freaking out. We go in the church and he says to the woman, "Is there another door out of here?" And she was polishing the pew. I remember everything so clearly because guess what? You can too. When something's happening, we've all got in our brains, all of us, something called instant recall. Yeah? Not just the name of the title of that movie. We have recall. If you just stop and slow down and then go back down the timeline in your memory, because the brain is a recorder. It's like a giant orb, isn't it? Yeah? The orbs in the sky sometimes are also recording. Yeah? Sometimes, anyway, that's too much to go into right now. Stick with the reptilians. So we run in the church. My dad's freaking out. My mum's freaking out. She's got my little brother. I'm getting pushed along. The woman with the brown hair that flicked up, with the polishing the pews. She was using Pledge or Mr. Sheen. They were the products in those days to make the wood shiny. And she said, yeah, there's a door over there. So we went through that door. Then we got in the car and drove off. And I don't remember speaking about that again for years and years. It was like it just got shoved under the carpet, like two hideous reptilian twins came up to us in the churchyard and started to paralyze my body. Years ago, when we did start talking about it, my dad said, I don't know who they were or what they were, but they were after one of you. I went, yeah, Dad, it was me. It was me. Anyway, so if you come to England to the conference, then and you want to be part of the 2-day church tour, I'll take you there and I'll show you the field where we saw the Delta Wing um, spacecraft too, right? If you fancy that. So let me know soon. And I'm only taking 20 of you. I'm only taking 20 of you. So you put under the comments, not the live chat. Live chat's going too fast, it's too much there, it disappears. Do it in the comment section, and then I'll give you an email. Well, the email is info@galacticspiritualinformers.com. info@galacticspiritualinformers.com. That email goes to my beautiful team, and then they will send on the relevant emails to me for those of you that want to come on the tour, and I can give you more details then. Okay, so that was the reptilian story. Now I'm going to quickly tell you about so they were shape-shifting. They were trying to look like humans. They didn't really pull it off. But anyway, that happened. Anyway, cut to years later. So I went to Egypt with my sister, who's a lot younger than me. And we went there over New Year's. It was great. We went on a cruise down the River Seine, which is really a ferry boat with a ribbon on it. You know, bless them, they do their best. I remember the constant harassment of the call to prayer because it's a Muslim country and you don't realize until you're actually there. You've got both sides of the River Nile. Did I say the River Seine? We're not in Paris. Oh, how funny is that? That was a Freudian programmable, programming myself there. Anyway, so we're down the River Nile, and yeah, on both sides you hear the call to prayer all the time. And it was a good observation for me because I'd never felt it so intensely as other countries I've been to, because it was on both sides, it seemed that your nervous system gets rattled if you're not used to it. And then as the days go on, you get more and more used to it. It's really quite incredible. So we were having an amazing time. We went to the temples in Luxor, where Elena Danan was head of the temple at Karnak. For 8 years, she worked up to that position where she was the one who was translating the Egyptian hieroglyphs. So Elena Danan, who I would say is the biggest and most important voice in disclosure on our planet, doesn't wait for anyone, isn't governed by any military, any government, any governing body, any corporation, NASA, no one owns Elena Danan. She's having experiences and she's sharing them with you a lot on this channel. So again, there's tons of videos of me and her on. So she was head there of the translation at Karnak, and most of us weren't in the world and never will be. So she's really earned her stripes, that lady. Oh my God, in every way possible. So anyway, so me and my sister were having the best time up and down the Nile, going to the temples at Luxor, Karnak, Philae. We even took a drive out to Abu Simbel, which is where the temple of Ramses the Great. Now, Ramses the Great, he's noted in the Bible because there were quite a few Ramses in ancient testimony. So it's so incredible because the outside of the Abu Simbel temple, where you've got these monolithic Ramses, he did like himself. He did like himself. He did want to leave his mark, Ramses II, and he definitely did. And it's funny because there are some people that say, oh, when you see tiny people against a giant monolith, it's because that was how the size of the people. Ramses the Great, his great love was a lady called Nefertari. Nefertari. And she was his love. He had other wives, he had many children because they liked to spread their seed about, the pharaohs of the time, their bloodline's very important to them. Nefertari, Ramses the Great, what he often did when he had a monolithic statue made of himself, he would often include Nefertari. She's often there at his knee. I only know that because I worked with scholars. I paid to be with people on that trip to give me the most in-depth information, not just the regular tourist information, because like you, I'm very hungry for knowledge and I want to know how straight from the horse's mouth. And the guy that we had was from a long lineage of Egyptian men who were the orators of the ancient temples from millennia. So moving onwards. So we're having this amazing time. It's absolutely great. So we get on the plane and we're going back. And on the plane, I wanted to buy myself this watch. It's got crystals in it. And there is a thing about, crystals being close to the skin. I didn't have the money for diamonds, so I thought crystals are the next best thing. So I get this watch. It's relevant to the story. So, and this is, I think around it's 2006 or 7. So it's between those New Year, 2006, 7 is when this happened. Or 2007, 8. Gosh, time just goes whoosh, doesn't it? Whoosh and wallop. So I'm on the plane, got my new watch on, and I'm looking out the window. I'm always looking out the window on the plane because I've seen so much looking out the window on the plane. And when those nosy old, bossy old bags come along and go, shut your window, I'm like, I'm the annoying one. There's so much to see at night and in the day. Anyway, long story short, I look out the window and there's a bank of cloud, the shape of a pyramid underneath my seat on the plane. Okay, and it's flat like that. So I can look down on this pyramid shape outside my window on the plane. Now, I timed that bank of cloud under the plane was there for 25 minutes. That's not possible. How is that possible? Planes moving at average 500 miles an hour? You're telling me it's taking that long to move over a bank of cloud shaped like a pyramid? Yeah. At the same time, I'm in front of the wing and there's a light behind the wing bouncing up and down. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I saw it. I saw you. Oh my God. It's yellow. It's pink. Oh my God, it's not the color of the plane lines. Oh my goodness. Oh my golly gosh. What is it? What is it? So I'm like this the whole time out the window, stuck to the window, right? Next thing, I'm looking across and there is a thunder and lightning show. Red, blue, white, green, gold, white. I mean, blues. This thunder and lightning storm is happening over these mountains in the distance, and it's just incredible. I'm like, this is the most exciting flight I've ever been on. And I've got a new watch. So, so I'm there. So I'm like looking, and all of a sudden, the light behind the wing that's like peeping up, and you get a feeling in you. I'm like, I'm communicating with this light, okay? And I'm pinching myself. I'm like, Dani, right, tell it you can see it. Big mistake. Okay, I've done it 1,000 times. I am more careful these days, trust me. But I said to the light, I can see you, yeah, all cocky on a plane with a new watch on, looking at all the light phenomena going on. Guess what it did? It went straight down the end of the wing, around the wing. Did you see that? See that little light there? It went down the wing and it sat opposite me. So if I'm sitting on the plane like this and I look like that, it shot a light sideways. And do you know what it shot? It shot bloody lightning. It did a lightning bolt, which isn't possible as far as we're aware. Lightning doesn't shoot sideways, and it was coming right at me into the plane. So what do you think I did? I violently bashed back, hit my sister in the head, who then bashed into the man next to her. Now, the man next to her, when he first sat down on the plane, I looked across at him in his nice shirt and tie and his sleeveless jumper. And I looked at him and said to myself, he's a meteorologist, a scientist. His expertise is the weather. You just know sometimes, don't you? Remember how you've just known things? You just know. Well, One look at the bloke, I'm like, meteorologist, scientist. Anyway, so I'm bashing in, bashing in. Also, dinner has been delivered. I haven't noticed. So dinner's gone everywhere. My sister is so shocked. I've smashed her in the head. She's so embarrassed. I've humiliated her. The man is furious. And what do? I haven't got time for it. I'm back out the window. I'm terrified. I could not have been more scared. And I am begging the light. I'm like, please, please, please go away. Please go away. Please don't do that again. Please don't do that again. Can you imagine how terrifying that was? Anyway, everything, it went quiet. The lights went. Oh, I said to my sister, oh my God, I'm so sorry. She's like, what? What? I said, you've got to let me sit next to that man. I've got a message for him. So we did the awkward stand on the seats because we were in economy, stand on the seats and try and get past. I managed to sit down to him. I said, sir, I'm so sorry. I am so, so sorry. I beg your pardon. And he said to me, what happened? What? And I told him, first of all, I said to him, you're a meteorologist, aren't you? And he went, how do you know? He was Scottish. How do you know? I said, I don't know. I just know. He went, aye, I am. I said, right, listen to this. So I told him about the bank of cloud that had been going for 25 minutes on my new crystal watch, and I'm timing it 25 minutes. He said, that's not possible. That's not possible. Then I said about the light behind the wing, the yellow light, the pink light. Is like, he said, the only thing that's plausible is the thunder and lightning show that you saw over those mountains. He said, but there, he goes, that I can pinpoint. It goes, but the timing of you seeing that to you reacting based on where we could have been on the journey, he went, that doesn't kind of tightly time-wise wrap up. So anyway, he accepted my apology, which was great. We land, we go home. I'm at the time renting part of a stately home, and I've got the ancient library, which has all the original mahogany wood and wooden columns. And oh my God, I was so happy to be home. And in that huge giant mansion that was cut up into several apartments and houses, it was massive. There was little kids next door that I always played with. So they've been waiting for me to come back. So I'd always chase them, tickle them, play with them. So anyway, so they come in the house and I get home and there's a sofa in the middle of the room and I'm chasing them round and round and round and round and round. And I stop to take a breath. And all of a sudden I see a full-blown silver ET. He is completely silver. It's like his skin is silver, his helmet, his everything. And he was wearing a high conical helmet, which was we've got the helmet of Lower Egypt that has the dip, like Nefertiti wore, and we have the helmet of Upper Egypt. I hope I got that the right way around, because sometimes it's confusing. Like the south is in the north is in the south. It's sometimes upper and lower at different angles geographically, and they've named them different. But the point is, there's a silver man leaning against my dining table with his arms like this, watching me chase these children around. And I saw him as clearly as I'm seeing myself in the screen right now. So, of course, my normal response, but they were children. So I screamed, piss off, like that. And it went, that'll learn him. Anyway, he's standing there and he went, totally shocked that I saw him. I'm like, I'm clairvoyant, mate. Of course I see you buggers. It's not difficult, you know? Anyway, he disappeared instantly, and the children like, what, Danny, what? And I said, there was a silver man standing right there, watching us. Anyway, I opened the back door into the massive 1 acre garden that goes up a hill, and it's got trees all the way around it where monks used to live and do their prayer walk. And so it's a really ancient building. I step outside the back door and I shout up, show us your shit. Go on, show me your shit. Less than 2 seconds later, a bloody a jumbo big ass jet flew over my garden like this. Yeah? Now, Luton Airport is miles that way, miles and miles and miles that way. Sometimes you can see the planes all the way from Luton Airport, but they do not pop over your garden, darling. No, they do not. And I was just, and then the second one came. Unbelievable. And I kind of panicked a bit. because it was a bit too close to wow, wow, wow. Oh my God. So shape-shifting, ET's shape-shifting craft is and has been completely and entirely possible for an extremely long time. So sometimes you may have seen something. We were in the same garden, me and my friend Dr. Mangia Samantha Lawton. She's an expert in physics and black holes. I've had her on this channel a few times. I was with her. She was staying with me the night at this beautiful place. Same place. We're sitting in the garden. It's like 1 in the morning. I think it was when one of the Perseid showers, the meteor showers, shooting star showers, that happen at certain points of the year. So we're out there lying down and sitting down and chatting, and there's a star seen ever so close. I did my, we can see you, and it blinked and disappeared. We're like, oh man, they are listening. Those buggers are listening. It is incredible. So don't ignore your own experiences. Don't tell yourself when you were a child and you saw something and someone says, yeah, but no, but they weren't there, so they don't get to say. It's like anyone in authority for you as a child. You saw what you saw. You had an experience, paranormal, ET, because you were supposed to. It's always going to be part of the tapestry of your life. I hope it wasn't a negative one, but many of us have had terrible negative experiences. Um, but record them, remember them. They're important. They're part of your life story, your life journey. You know, and if people like I said don't believe, who cares? Those people, the mockers, the liars, the disinfo agents, the mean, nasty ones, they're always going to be out there. They're the rabble. The rabble's going to be there. They've got nothing better to do. Just throw them a bone and move on. But don't underestimate your own ability to have memory to recall things that happened in your life. Shape-shifting is very real. We know that the ET war that was on the ground here. So the real threat were the reptilian Cicar Dracos and the grey Zeta Reticuli, the grey Nebu in particular from the Orion zone, and the Mitra, horrible things picking people up where they could. They were already on our planet for over 70 years. So you've been lied to, and I was lied to too. And now they're pretending, oh, they're in the sky, they're going to invade. No, the invasion already happened. And now they got their asses kicked off your planet. So now the deep state who are left, the last smegs of them, the rats that have been running everything, their days are over, their days are numbered. The repressive systems that are on this planet are coming down. We're seeing the breaking apart of it. So have faith, friend. Have faith. It's a beautiful time ahead. Bit more bumps to go, yeah? Bit more of your own growth happening, bit more of an emotional time for you. But don't ignore your healing. Don't ignore your healing. And like I said, don't try and be Captain America either. Okay? Because this is about truth, about love. And when you see something, and when you've been with 1,000 people like I was, September 24th, 27th, 2024, and 1,000 of you see many different spacecraft in the sky, flashing lights, diving down in a no-fly zone, in a restricted area, they did that on purpose. The ETs did that on purpose, so nobody could deny. And so hold on to your truth. You keep ramping forward. And if you're around people that lie, remove them out of your life. Delete their footage, delete their content. Ideally they downloaded their own stuff or whatever. But if you're here like I am, to tell the truth and not hold back and not be afraid of a single person, which I'm not, and then just be real and keep moving forward. Disclosure has been happening. We're in it. We're on it. You're part of it. So keep telling your stories too. Again, our next conference is Galactic Spiritual Informers in England, May 10th and 11th. For those of you that want to join me on the British Church walking tour for one day 7th of May. And on the 8th of May, I'll take you out to the church where we saw the reptilians and the triangular craft, and also hopefully I can get us a trip to the beautiful crystal store, which is the most amazing one I've ever been to. The man loves on these crystals. He's like an ancient wizard in a beautiful village where there's also an armory where they make original medieval swords, and it's all very interesting. So anyway, so you can email info@galacticspiritualinformers.com, and I will look forward to seeing you soon. My name is Dani Henderson. I love humanity. That's why I stand up and I stand strong and I face adversity and I stand against it, and I will keep telling the truth. And that's what I came back for. And that's what a lot of you came back for too. All right. Send you my love. Until next time, take care.